Greetings and salutations, everybody. So, a few months back, I did a video for Horror Therapy, specifically mentioning Reanimator is one of those films that it's kind of like a comfort film that I often return to when feeling down. I know, it's kind of strange being that it's a horror film, but, it's how I was raised. Anyways, for these past few weeks, things have been a little bit rough. It's one of the reasons why I did a repost of The Final Girls on Monday. Because for one thing, the film that video never really found its audience, so I wanted to give it another chance, and I just didn't have the time or motivation or energy to put up a new video. It's the same reason why on Friday I put up One Cut of the Dead, because I just needed something silly to sit down to and enjoy, kind of relax a bit. So, this past Friday came around, and I needed another one to unwind to, which is why I chose the 1985 film Better Off Dead, which I've probably seen well over 10 times over the years. And for those unfamiliar, this one stars John Cusack, Diane Franklin, Amanda Weiss, and Curtis Armstrong, among others. And the synopsis is as follows. After his girlfriend Beth ditches him for boorish ski jock Roy, high school student Lane decides that suicide is the only answer, but his inept attempts bring him nothing but agony and embarrassment. So first off, yes, this is a Diane Franklin film as well, but it's not on that list of suggestions that she gave me when I was looking for ones to check out. I have gone through some of those and put up videos for them, but I do have some other ones to go through. So this is just kind of a little one-off of sorts that she happened to be in. Also, in my opinion, this isn't one of those films that somebody can actually spoil. It's not something that has any big reveals or huge plot twists or anything. And if you haven't seen it, you've likely at least heard some of the quotes from this film, especially the "I want my $2" quote. And that is likely the one that you've heard the most. So if you haven't seen this one, you've no doubt heard that. It's kind of like the "it goes to 11" quote from Spinal Tap.
The numbers all go to 11. Look, right across the board. 11, 11,
and most of
11,
the amps go up.
It's like people seem to default to that part of the film when they're going to tell somebody about something funny about it, making one who hasn't seen it wonder if that's just the only part that's funny. So, going along those lines, let me just cut to the chase and go into a little bit more about this film. First off, it's definitely a lot of fun. It always has been. I remember seeing commercials for this on cable about this coming to a cable station soon, and setting the timer on my VCR. For you youngsters out there, it's literally a physical tape. You'd have to put in a blank one and tell it what time and on what station you want to record for how long and hope that you did it right. But anyways, I did that overnight, so that way, first thing on Saturday morning, I would have this film to wake up to and check out, and it did not disappoint. And even to this day, having rewatched it so many times, it still does not disappoint. So, this film has a lot of running gags going on and callbacks throughout the film. Much of it is causes a lot of this to be remembered well after the film is over. But there's more to it than just those gags. At its most basic, Lane is broken up with, and he wants to find a way to get his girlfriend back. And although he is also occasionally trying different attempts and failing at taking his own life, he also thinks that maybe if he can ski the K-12, which is something that only the guy that his girlfriend had dumped him for was able to successfully do, maybe she would take him back for some reason. And along the way, he meets an exchange student living with his neighbors, and she kind of helps him get his groove back in a way. So there's a bit more going on here, but overall it is pretty simple, straightforward. It's the comedy, though, and those callbacks and running gags, and especially those that they cast to carry this out, which really make it a lot of fun. So sure, we have that $2, people always quote, but there's a lot of other stuff going on, a lot of other gags. We have the various ways that he tries to off himself. There's always some sort of comedy between how he fails, what he's trying, if he changes his mind, and so on. We have these strange meals that his mother is always trying to prepare. Weird balls of slime or tentacles and crab legs and stuff popping out of pots, and just really weird stuff. Really gross looking. We also have the stuff that his brother is ordering via mail, and he's not even waiting until the packages are finished before removing the proof of purchases, so we have a running gag with that. And he's ordering everything from how to build a space shuttle using household appliances, building ray guns, or even how to pick up trashy women. So we also have people always approaching him to see if they can ask out his now ex-girlfriend, now that she broke up with him. We have two brothers always challenging him to a race, one of which is played by Yuji Okamoto, who you may recently recognize from Cobra Kai. We have issues with the garage always breaking and the father trying to fix it. I mean, so many things going on. But I think two of my favorites are, one, his druggy friend who, laments that they're in such a small town he can't even get real drugs there, and he's making do with whatever he can come across, whether it's pure snow or jello and so forth. And especially, though, of course, my favorite is the exchange student. Everything happening with this exchange student and the host family next door to this guy. Their interactions of how this creepy son, who's even more creepy now that I looked into who that actor is. I'll leave it up to you if you want to know more about that. And their whole situation there and the mother trying to push them together. There's a lot of stuff going on here. There's a lot of callback, a lot of reference, a lot of comedy, which carries on in a very highly quotable film besides just that $2 line. So this one is one of those comfort films for me, not so much for nostalgic reasons, thinking back to a time when I didn't have to work or pay bills, but because of those little bits of humor constantly strewn throughout the film. None of them go on too long. They are each different enough from each other that even when they do repeat for a callback, similar to how a stand-up comedian will reference something earlier in the set, it all works. So this 90-minute runtime just flies by as you hop from one scene to another, where underneath all of that, it's kind of building this little storyline that has a bit of heart in it going on as well. At least as much as a silly comedy like this can actually fit into it, or as much as a silly comedy like this should have it. But it really makes it more than worth, revisiting when feeling down, or spending time to have a first viewing if you never got around to checking this one out in the first place. And speaking of checking out, thanks for checking out this latest quick little video here for a little 80s throwback for Better Off Dead from 1985. If you never saw this, or if you saw it back in the day and kind of forgot about it, head on over to, I believe it's on AMC Plus currently, as well as Pluto TV, and of course paid rental. Now, I got the Blu-ray, and yes, it was another Viper video purchase. See, I don't always just buy horror there. But, yeah. Anyways, there you have it. That's my little look back on a comfort film, Better Off Dead. There's a lot more to it than I want my $2 quote. It's definitely fun, highly quotable, definitely memorable. So thanks for coming by and for sticking around to the end, as it really does help out quite a bit. If you enjoy this content, please give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing if not subscribed already, and hitting that little bell icon to get notifications when I put up new content, which is usually once or twice a week. Also have some links coming up in just a moment for some other content, including a playlist for all of my 80s related throwbacks. But that's all I got for this one. Thanks for coming by, and I will see you in the next one.